Hi everyone, it's Deja Yetmir from CrochetEverAfter.com, and right now I'm going to show you how to foundation double crochet. So this stitch is really great to learn whenever you want to substitute your foundation chain and your first row of double crochet into one, and it's going to create a really stretchy, nice fabric to work into. So let's get started. Okay, so to begin your foundation double crochet, I already have a slip knot on my hook. What I'm going to do is chain 4. And that's the only chaining that you're going to have to do to create any amount of foundation double crochets that you need. So the reason I chain 4 is because I need 3 chains for the height for my double crochet. Just like if you were doing a turning chain, you would always chain 3 for double crochets to get the proper height. I have the 4th chain because that's the chain that I'm going to work into. So to begin my first foundation double crochet, I yarn over like I would for any double crochet, and I insert my hook in the 4th chain from my hook, which is that very first one you made. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. Now the next part is the steps to actually create your foundation double crochet, and if you remember that when you're doing this stitch, you're creating not only a double crochet, but you're also creating a foundation chain. That's going to help you remember how to do these steps so you don't have to keep watching this video. So the first thing we need to do is create a foundation chain, and we do that by yarning over and pulling through just the first loop. So what I've just done is created my very first foundation chain, and this is important because you're going to have to work into these for every stitch after. So knowing where it's at is a very important part. So you can see the 2 loops, and as I make more foundation double crochets, this is going to start to look like a normal foundation chain running along the bottom of your work, and I'll show you that in a little bit. Now my next step is to make my double crochet. So I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through just the first 2 like I would for any double crochet, and yarn over and pull through the last 2. So now I have made my first foundation chain and my first double crochet. Now that foundation chain is very important because that's what I need to insert my hook into for my next and every stitch after. So we yarn over again for our next stitch, and we insert our hook under both loops of that foundation chain. So you can see I've caught both loops. And then the same steps again, yarn over, pull up. Now I'm going to create my second foundation chain by yarning over and pulling through just that first loop. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops for my double crochet, and yarn over and pull through the last 2 for my second double crochet. And you can see when I turn it the correct way, you can see it's starting to form. As you work, it's growing below, but when you're done, you're turning your work, and it's going to look just like as if you had done a foundation chain and then double crocheted. So let's do our next one. So we yarn over again, find our foundation chain that we made. You can always turn your work sideways to look for the V, because you'll see that they're going to start looking more and more like the stacked V's that you get from a foundation chain. So I put through both loops, pull up a loop, yarn over, create my 3rd foundation chain, yarn over, 2 loops, yarn over, last 2 loops. Now I've got 3. So let's yarn over and do another one. Find my foundation chain on the bottom, insert through both loops, yarn over and pull up a loop, create my 4th foundation chain, yarn over, 2 loops, yarn over, 2 loops. I'm going to do a few more of these quickly so you can see what the foundation chain is going to look like after I get a few more done. This stitch is great. You could substitute it anytime your pattern calls for a foundation chain and your first row is supposed to be double crochet. So either the pattern will say FDC, which is foundation double crochet, as many stitches as it tells you, or it might say chain 20, double crochet 17, whatever it may be. You can substitute this stitch in place of a row of double crochets after your foundation chain. And this stitch creates a much stretchier, much more even fabric. It's great for garments, great for beanies, great for just about anything that you need to have a nice foundation row. So I've made a few more foundation double crochets, and I wanted to show you what the foundation chain looks like. So you can see that it's really starting to look like a regular foundation chain with the stacked V's. Kind of hills upside down. So with my stacked V's. So after you create as many as the pattern calls for, you just turn your work and you start working your next row. If you get confused, if you put your work down and you're not sure which side is up, just look for your tail, because that's always going to be the end of your foundation chain. So the foundation chain with the tails on the bottom and the stitches are up on top. So that is how you make your foundation double crochet.